Bonjour, monsieur.
Hey, bonjour. Good morning, good afternoon.
Morning.
Good morning, Gilles.
How's it going?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Very good, thank you. There you go. So, economic calendar. We had some news this morning at 8:30 that moved the market. Core CPI came in pretty much as forecast. However, the market seemed to like that. So let's just look quickly at 5 things to know before the market. Futures fall as tech stocks remain under pressure. Key inflation report, we just talked about that. Oracle reporting earnings, and SMCI is dropping a bit. Something about Cracker Barrel, just in case some people trade that. And financial juice, these were the last news updates that were printed in red. So this is what we're looking at this morning. This is because of an explanation that I did at this point over here. I will explain this trade. This is a trade I took yesterday around 11 a.m. I described it in the during the session, and the setup occurred perfectly at around 11 a.m. So I'll explain it in a few minutes. Other than that, the market is open. So good luck to anybody who trades the open. Eric, you shared a link here. I don't know if that's something you guys were talking about earlier.
Yeah, I was talking about the summer vacation. So
oh yeah,
and where I'm planning to go, doing some promotion to my country.
Oh yeah. Which is Dubai, right?
No, I'm Egyptian.
You're Egyptian. Oh, okay. Beautiful. I was there in 2009, and very glad I went to visit. It was absolutely breathtaking. Yeah. So I thought you lived in Dubai.
I live in Dubai, yes.
Oh, okay. But you're
going back.
Okay. Thanks for sharing. So a few new people in here, maybe. I don't trade the opening session. I like just sharing what it is that I'm seeing. Very choppy pre-market. This gap up was surprising to me, because those CPI numbers are not necessarily positive, but somebody liked something, or we are squeezing out some orders over here. What was higher time frame support broke down, and now it could be resistance. So let's see what happens over here. I would like to see it come back over here and reject. However, because I don't like trading these massive 5-minute candles. So I'm going to take my time, first 30 minutes, but we'll also look at other products that you guys might be watching. Yes, new here. Nice to meet everyone. Azurai, hopefully I said that correctly.
It's Azurai.
Azurai, thank you for correcting me. Appreciate that. My name is Gilles.
Gilles, okay.
Gilles, yeah.
Amazing.
It's French. I'm French Canadian.
Okay, that's great to know.
Yeah. So that being said, and don't hesitate getting on the mic. Any question you might have. I'm a former teacher, so that's why I'm here. I like answering questions. I've been in the market for many years, and I just like sharing my knowledge and learning from everybody else in here, because everybody trades differently. And so yeah, questions in the comment box or on the mic, that goes for everyone. please don't hesitate. And I am so used to talking after teaching for 30 years that sometimes I don't shut up. So please don't hesitate to interrupt me. So that being said, there's not a lot of room to the left, which is one of the first things I look for right now looking at MES. When I'm doing my analysis during the market hours, I look at the 5-minute chart. I can tell where the 15-minute candles are as well as the 30-minute candles. But it's just what I like having on my chart. But from where price is right now, there is no room to the left above or below. If we get above the highs of pre-market, actually the recent highs of pre-market, then you're starting to see some room to the left. But I really prefer seeing, a couple hours at least of room to the left. And what I usually do is look for an impulse move. So that's why I draw these fair value gaps. I have the Lux Algo fair value gap indicator. I like using them on the 5-minute chart. And my strategies are kangaroo tail reversals, as well as break and retest. So I like trading the break and retest. And for the retest, I either use a level or fib levels. So that being said, let's look at gold. I was looking at gold this morning. There was a lot of chop over here. It seemed like it had found a bottom, and then, just poked up above this level. I don't know why my alert is still there, because it did trigger over here. So you can tell that this was resistance over here at this 5-minute fair value gap. Then we printed another one, making new lows, and then coming out and grabbing liquidity right above this area here, taking out stops, and then moving down again. So I want to see what happens in the first half hour. Oil was moving up on news and tweets and, the possibility of he's having difficulty, I don't know how to say it, looking at the tweets from Trump saying that, it's taking too long to get to a deal. I believe that is what the 7 o'clock candle was here. But again, it's not making new highs. It's just chopping around in this area. Evo, CBRL, FCEL, INTC, and SMCI. Yeah, SMCI was in the news this morning. I was looking at Corning yesterday because there was news on that. So let's look at SMCI, see if it's pulling back. Yeah. So there's in pre-market pulling back, looking at the higher time frame. Don't know if there's a level over here. Seems to be a range, pretty much where price is right now. However, now that we've gone and taken liquidity out below this, we could be making our way down to the 34 area. I do not trade this product, so just full disclosure there. NVIDIA. There's some massive 5-minute candles taking out pre-market liquidity here. And let's see what happens. This is definitely an area of interest here. Let's put my key levels over here. So we're going to see that the pre-market high is right over here. There's pre-market high, today high, yesterday's high. So this could possibly be considered a break out of a range. Zoom into the 1, right? That was the area right there. We are breaking out of it. Do we come and retest this area? It's not a massive break. So curious to see what happens at this level. Does it hold as support? And if so, is there an entry to go higher? Targeting possibly yesterday's high. Actually, the first target would be over here. That was post-market. Wrong tool.
Everything's kind of pushing north right now.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Good morning, Evo. Or
Good morning, Gilles.
yeah.
The semis, Tesla, SOXL, the semiconductor ETF, SPY Qs. So we'll see if it wants to challenge that that 530 drop of the CPI and see if it overtakes that high. Well, 5:30 a.m. for me.
Yeah, in California time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a very odd print, actually. I was not expecting it to climb like this. But again, I don't predict. I try to follow what the chart is telling me. So the initial move is often a fake move. So, right, be careful on, those that are bullish and, that we're going to the moon. This could be the fake move. On the 5-minute. So let's look at the trade I took yesterday. Yesterday I was feeling that we might be making new highs, but then we pulled back. Missed the entry, right? There's no entry for me to go short here. And we were making new lows. Then we consolidated over here, pulled back. That is where I started my fib. And I stopped it once we started making new highs. I put in a limit order at the 50. Got filled on one account and did not get filled on the secondary account. So that was a bit annoying because it went in my direction right away. So as soon as it popped into the 50, entered me. Stop loss was at 61.8 at 29,358. And then my 3R was right over here. However, I had this level here at higher time frame support. So what happened is once we broke down below this level right here, I brought my stop to break even, to my entry. And then I walked away. I had to leave the computer. And instead of just aiming for the 3R, and the 3R was right around, well, actually here. There you go. So 3 was right there. Instead of aiming for 3, I figured, you know what? We are on our way down. This would be a very odd level to find support and just take off from there. I figured, you know what? If we are making, and it does seem like we're pulling back and the sellers are still in charge, I put my take profit right above higher time frame support, which was over here, right? The last time that we had touched it, right? We took off from there. So that's where the higher time frame support was. And I was away, got an alert. I'd set an alert just like this. Just add alert, and I had one at the top here if it took me out back at break even. So I had 2 alerts. I just noted that the alert that I wanted, that I was hoping to see, was around 29.010, and I got that alert while I was out. There's nothing I was going to do. I wasn't going to manage the trade from my phone or anything. But anyway, this worked out great. That was my only trade yesterday, so no losses. Actually, it should have been 2 trades. Like I said, I did it in 2 different accounts and did not get filled here. So that's the problem with the limit entry. Sometimes you're just not going to get the entry. So there you go. And that's a recap of yesterday. You can take these drawings out now. It's, I mean, my trading style is very, it's getting monotonous because it's almost always the same process. And then over here, is this now called, we are above it. So you know what, I'm not going to change the name of it. It doesn't really matter. Let's just look at where price is right now. So that was support, but right? It was support over here, but then we just broke down below it. So you can't call it support anymore. You can definitely call it an area of interest. Here, area of interest. Right? Because we chopped around this area. And again, it's not just a line. Think of it as a rectangle. Right? We are breaking out above it. So is there a possibility of a break and retest? From the CPI announcement, we had a low down below my higher time frame here. And then we came up to this level. We chopped around, but then confirmed above the 50% retracement. And now we're making new highs. So let's see if we can get beyond these levels, right? So these are potential areas of resistance. Again, I'm not doing anything in the first half hour, especially not on a choppy morning like we've seen this morning. Don't know if you guys are looking at anything else. Right? Chopped around right at the open, came into the golden zone, and then took off. There might be a trade here, right? There might be somebody who will, look at these 830 numbers and find an entry. Let's look at the 1 minute. Right? There might have been, once we pull into it, and then, right, we don't know that this candle is going to be green until it closes. So that's the entry there. For me, that stop is too far. But right above this area of interest over here, entry there, stop at the 61.8, right? And I always aim for 3, minimum of 3. There you go. So I would have difficulty taking this trade because it is above yesterday's close, which could be resistance. And it's also above a pre-market high, which was resistance this morning because we couldn't make a higher high. Tesla, not beyond the 15-minute zone yet. I'm going to put a level here because this was an area of resistance. Excuse me. It's an area of resistance in late afternoon yesterday and then post-market. And over here, you can only assume that it's going to be resistance again. So it's an area of interest. So it's not necessarily a short, but if we sweep above here and then can't make new highs and then close below it, it might be a short. And the way that I would trade it is if it gave me a kangaroo tail, 5-minute kangaroo tail above here. Kangaroo tail comes from Naked Forex, which is a book that a lot of people in the community have read. So yeah, if it gave me a KT up here, possible short to the next area of interest, which would be basically the low of the range or the low of day, which is down here. What else we got? NVIDIA is just chopping around. Hugh is making new highs. Same with SPY.
It wicked me out, and then it moved.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
I got wicked out, and the move down.
On what?
On the MNQ.
Oh. Yeah. Were you long pre-market?
Yeah, I was long 28,850.
Yeah.
Then it looked like it was selling really hard. With broke the 800. I went out, and then it reversed.
Yeah. That's and you know,
Yeah.
but that's what the opening candles do.
Yes, exactly.
Right. And you know, to each their own. It took me a long time to just avoid it. It's like, you know what, I for the amount of times that I've been stopped out, and same as you were correct. You were absolutely correct on the long here. Right. It's a breakout, pull back, continuation, but these are violent moves. They're difficult to stay in these big candles. So yeah, sorry that happened. However, if you're following your plans, there will be others. Hello, Jackie. Welcome. Don't see you in here often. Interesting area on MNQ right now. Right, we put in these two big candles right at the close yesterday, right? Trying to make new highs, right? Former area of resistance over here, right? We were trying, that was on when was that? Tuesday. So yesterday we're coming down, then broke up, or sorry, tried to punch up and resisted over here. So we are in this area of possible resistance. So anybody in a long over here, you know, hang tight, because there is going to be some chop in this area. Not really a prediction. I don't know. I mean, if news comes out, positive news, it could just blow past here. But these are areas of interest. NVIDIA SPY is behaving. Let's look at NVIDIA and SPY. NVIDIA is a choppy mess right now, right? Just chopping around this area. If it were to make a high, let's look where they are on the CP, on the pivot levels. Yeah, we're in between S3 and R3, so this can be a chop fest just below the central pivot range. This is an area of possible resistance. In a higher range, when we open above S3, S3 could possibly be a buying area. So there might have been, actually, it didn't open above S3, it opened below. However, if S3 proves as support, right, if it dips into here, it could possibly make it to R3. But this is a higher time frame area of possible resistance. It was yesterday. Right at the close yesterday, tried to make a newer high, and then on lower volume, just pulled back. And then at this level, we started buying. So we're in between these levels right now. So difficult, for me, difficult to trade. What's gold doing? Gold, I thought, would find a bottom, because we have not visited this area. Look at the room to the left. We have not been here in a long time. This has been the most recent low on a 30-minute candle. Let's put a level there. And I had expected, and I'm still not completely convinced, I had expected that we would come and get liquidity around 4,100 here. So let's see if it gives an entry. If it rejects again at this level, this is close to a 50% retracement from here, right? From where it rejected. Wrong tool. Get over there. There, it might be a little bit above now. Right, we're definitely in an area of interest for possible sellers getting back into their positions, for the possibility of making it down here. I actually like this. . 'Cause 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 ' I'm going to bring gold up here. It is getting close to 10 a.m. Back to the 5, right? It's definitely hanging out in this area. It's not a short yet. But if it were to spike up and reject, it could be. $41.99.30. Yeah, look at the 2-minute. We're just hanging out in here. Just hanging out in here. I do not like this. All right, we're accepting price over here. Gold has been finding these levels and just consolidating. So let's see what happens here. Gilles, is S1, S2, S3, etc. a pivot point indicator you use? Yeah, it is. It's the central pivot. It's called Camarilla pivot plate. Sorry, central pivot is the blue line. You'll see it appear in a minute. Let's go back to the 5-minute here. There you go. So that's the CP, the central pivot. It just means that it's the center between S3 and R3. I do not put R1 and 2 on my screen. I only put the level 3 and 4 and 6. Just the way that I've learned it. And we are in a lower range, which means over the last 2 days, if you compare Monday to Tuesday, Tuesday closed lower. Therefore, that's a lower range. This is considering that the pivots are wide. So it is basically saying that we are going to stay within R4 and S4, possibly. And if you look at S6 over here, S6 is often a support area, and it was in pre-market. Right? But right now we are at S4 in a lower range. S4 can be an area of selling pressure if we are below it. If it shows as support above it, it can be a buying area as well. So a lot of rules to follow to this system. I do not trade it exclusively anymore. I like having it on my chart, just glancing at it to see where the pivots are. But yeah, it's the CPP Auto. I don't remember who the author is. I think it's Bruz. But you can just look in indicators and you'll get it. I want to know if gold gets above this area right here, and I'd like to see if it does like a sweep above and then rejects. So we'll see what happens there on gold. MCL at 90.50. MCL. Yeah, if it can make it above there, right? This could be a level of interest, right? I've got this level here. Right, and I think I've had it here for a while. It was level of support over here, support over here. If it was support and we broke down below it, we can only assume that before anything else, it might be resistance. So we might have trouble getting back into or above this area, generally speaking. also just for just to explain my strategy as well. When price is accepted inside the golden zone here, I am not as interested in taking the short. The longer it hangs out in here, the less it's being rejected, right? This is not showing rejection. This is showing acceptance, right? When we're inside this range here, we are accepting price over here. Now, it could absolutely break either way. But the longer it stays in here, the less interested I am in the actual fib levels, the 50% retracement from the selling over here to where we started buying here. Right? This could be on the 2-minute. This could be considered a double bottom here. On the 5-minute too, I guess. Bottom, second bottom, bullish candle, break of the high of the bullish candle, enter long. I just don't like that this seems to be 41.53 seems to be in the middle of nowhere. Right? If I zoom out and zoom into, what was it? 51.53. I'll zoom into here. I forgot again. 51. Yeah, right around this area here. Right? These two 30-minute candles came down here. Right? But we came down to this level. This is where support was, not at 53 area over here. So that's why I didn't trust that we started buying in a range where there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason why we're buying there. Just explaining my thought process. No, doesn't mean that that's what's going to happen, obviously, right? Just want to put that disclaimer out there that, this is just what it is I'm seeing. I'm seeing the possibility of coming down here. Might not happen. Seem to be rejecting the 50 area. Tesla is willing to cross low day. Low of the open anyway. Right, the opening range right here. Could find some buyers here. Pre-market low is at 388.90 area. Yesterday's post-market low. No, that's still this morning. Sorry, this was post-market. The low of pre-market is here around 5:15 this morning, around 388.40. Right now, it's just still sitting inside the 30-minute range. Platinum, I can comment. You're welcome, Jackie. I can comment, Haranath, on platinum, but I have never traded it, right? And I rarely watch it. So that being said, I don't know it as well as MNQ and MES and gold and oil. I was looking at it because somebody asked a question. I think it was you actually talked about it the other day. So the latest impulse move, is buying. Right? So we were buying over here. Did the news at 8:30? Yeah, the news at 8:30 seems to have had an impact on this. So why does my tool keep changing positions? I want that there. There you go. So we were buying. Where did we start buying? Well, right at the bottom of this candle over here. Right? We made a high on this 5-minute candle here, and look at where it retraced to. Let me zoom in. Right, so we made a high. The second candle started selling, and selling this case 15 minutes later, we came right into the 50 with 2 candles and then moved up. So the way that I trade this, and like I said, I do not trade platinum, but my strategy basically says if it goes into the 50, go long, stop below the 61.8, aim for 3. 3 would have been hit right there. Right? That being said, now that this was the retracement, I would start my fib over here, but it did it again. Right? That's the next fib. That's the high of the next fib. Go right. Went into the golden zone. If this was a limit entry with a stop below here, it would have been stopped out. But you can tell that it's putting in a bullish candle after this. Sorry that my explanation's taken long, but this would have been another entry. Right? If you were actually trading this live, entry there, stop below the 61.8, aim for 3. There you go. You're up 6. Now that pulled back, this becomes the low of, or the start of my next fib, which is the most recent fib, the most recent low. We are still buying. That's the high. It has not pulled into the 50, but this area is an interesting area. Right? Not trading advice. I'm not saying that I would take this because it has already done it 3 times. Can it do it again? Yeah, absolutely. Can it do it again? For sure. But we are approaching an area of resistance. Right? Yesterday's low. Right? We could not, we just flushed down below this level yesterday. So we can only assume that it could be resistance. And just recently, it has shown to be resistance. So I would be a little bit more apprehensive taking this long. So anyway, hopefully that that helps with the analysis of platinum. And these levels work on higher time frames as well. Don't need to change the time frame, but if I start over here and bring the level there, there could be buyers all the way down to here. So you basically have to see if this is going to hold as support. Right? If we start at the latest pullback over here, that's where I start my fib. I go up to the swing high and I look to see what will happen here. Let's put an alert. I'll put it just above, actually just below this wick. And then let's see if it gets in there. Where's my other alert? It was gold. Never made it, never wicked up above these highs. Right? And it's just chopping around there. Pick your value for PL is $5. Good reward with a small move. So is a loss. Yeah, that's why after our conversation the other day, I went and put in just a paper trade here. I was just trying to figure out the cost. I don't think I even have it on my trading tool. Hang on a second. Over here, futures. Yeah, I don't have it in here. I'll have to add it. Yeah. Put that there. And yeah, it's and there are no micros, right? This is all right, we're looking at the possibility of limit buy with a take profit and a stop. The stop would be at 61.8. The limit entry, which I will not take, would be right above the 50. And at 150, even with this tight stop here, 150 risk is not enough. 200. So at 4 ticks, it's 200. So yeah, it's definitely, if you can get into tight stops on something like this, it could be very interesting, very profitable, and very fast, and incredibly profitable if you can get into a trending day. All right, so this level of interest, area of interest here is showing to be an area of interest again. Just came and touched it again. And getting towards the highs. But this could be resistance, and so could this. I have an alert up here. Yeah, I'll leave it there. We get into this area over here, could be an area of resistance, therefore a short possible setup from there. Or if it breaks through it, we could see a break and retest. There's definitely room to the left. It's possible. A lot of areas of possible resistance above, though. Tesla seems to be grabbing liquidity down here. We came down and started buying. Right, the candle turned out to be red, so this is not a kangaroo tail reversal for me, but take this candle, bring it down so it takes out liquidity below and print it green, and on the break of that, I'd be in for the long. Excuse me. Where's my, there it is. Just to explain, there's a line here. Let's put the line. So there's definitely an area of liquidity below here. So what I like to look for is a candle that, let's say, it goes down here slowly, and then over here we get a candle that dips down, but the body of it, sorry, that should be in the middle there. It's hard to draw with a mouse. I can do better. All right, we continue making our way down slowly but surely. And then around here, you see a candle put in a long wick with the body within the range of the previous candle. Now, if it does this and then closes over here, and then the next candle opens bullish, then this is one of my favorite moves. It's a kangaroo tail reversal. It's a high win rate. Obviously, once you get in, you have no idea what's going to happen. A few problems with this candle is that it's hard to put a stop loss because your stop is below that wick. However, another stop, more aggressive stop, could just be below the level. And if it doesn't break right away, let's say it's on the second or third candle, actually after 2 or 3 5-minute candles, I would disregard this. It has to happen pretty quickly after, because it's the same thing that's going on in gold right now. Price was being accepted in that range. I don't want that. I want buyers to step in, and then you see, and then FOMO gets in with a lot of people saying, okay, this is going up, but it's time to get in. That's what I want to see. But yeah, the stop is going to be wider. Therefore, your 3R is going to be higher. So that is one of my my favorite trades. SMCI is dropping still. Right, SMCI, if we look at the impulse move, this was the latest pullback. So from here to the lows. Long tool again. From there to there. At the open, look at this massive wick. That's a 30-minute candle. Let's go back to the 5. Right? Like this. With a limit entry, this would have been stopped out right away, but I would never take it in the opening minutes. Right where price is right now, does it reject this area? I like going into a 2-minute. I want to see a bearish 2-minute candle. So we had buyers come in here. So if it were to break below 35.58, we might see a movement back down to the lows. Right. I would have to see it with price action to trust it. Because you're further down here, if it makes a new high above here, that's where I would put my more aggressive stop. Conservative stop. Way more conservative stop. But if that's the case, you need to get down to the 32.62 area to get 3R. So what's happening now? We are breaking below this area. Is it just going to go down in a wick? 10 seconds left in that candle. So very little wick. Does it make new lows? Again, I wouldn't enter just on a print a penny below because we could just be trapping some shorts here. ELF up 7.9%. If anybody trades ELF, it's the cosmetic company. Crazy that it's become a day trading tool. See, not an automatic entry. It's an area of interest. Go back to my 5 and go back to my usuals. So M&Q is just chopping around here. I'm going to be logging off in about 10 minutes. Somebody else is coming in at 10:30, so stay tuned after I walk off. Parsa, I believe, is going to be in here, I think, for an hour. Over here. Parsa 10:30. Jackie asked if there was a same link, and I believe it is. Does it say how long? At 10:30. Okay, it doesn't say for how long. There you go. Ronnie, I'm just, I don't know if you're in here right now, but I'm just seeing your message here. I'll read it after the session, but thank you very much. I just read the first sentence there, and it seems like you're thankful, so thank you for that. MES, chopping around the highs. This could definitely be a double top setup eventually. Right? It is showing as resistance. All right, we popped up above there, having difficulty making new highs. We've got equal highs over here. For me, this is not enough for an entry. But I will put an alert. Actually, I'll do it right now. I'll put an alert over here above this level. If we come back into this level, and reject again, then it could possibly be a double top. For a double top, I need room to the left. All right, check. There's room to the left. Came into an area of possible resistance, came back down, stair step our way back up here, and then reject this area a second time. And then you have to see selling, right? With price action, you have to see, are we actually rejecting it? I want to see some selling. I want to see volume of the selling coming in. And then I'd be looking at profiting around the next area, which could be around here, right? This could be a level here. So depending where your entry is, I personally would have to be able to get to 3R before hitting here. And if it gets here and then puts in another selling signal, right, a breakout and retest, then I'd be looking for here. And then if it goes below here, then you're looking for low day, right? Low of RTH and then low of ETH. And there are 10 minutes left, so I feel like I've been talking nonstop. Please stop me if you have something to share or questions. See how MGC just accepted price over here? It's not really rejecting it and moving lower. That was using this entire range, but the most recent move was buying. Over here.
I don't want to interrupt. Can I? Hey, T, are you in here? Sorry to.
Yeah, I'm here, man.
You see that that 4-hour candle yesterday, the close?
Yeah, spot on. 29.
Right. About 860 some points.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm holding.
Yeah. You know, just collecting data though. You know, seeing it one time and like seeing the potential and the power, and that's why I'm kind of focused on that. So, anyway, I just wanted to do that before I had to run. No trades for me today. You guys stay disciplined, keep it green. Thanks for letting me jump in there, Gilles.
Sorry, I missed that last part there, but no hesitation, guys. I don't own the room. So, and even if I did, that's what we want to hear is sharing. Interesting area on gold. I want to see what happens here. You got equal bottoms here going into the golden zone. I'll do a little bit of analysis here. Paper trading. Right, so it'd be a limit long. Let's get rid of that. That's paper trading account numbers. Yeah, so did we start buying over here? I don't see a bullish candle yet. That's on the 1 minute. If this 2 minute closes bullish and then we make a new high, it could be an entry. Be long from here. Stop there. Target would be 3. But I'm having trouble getting to 3. I have to get beyond all this. No bueno for me. There's the alert on MES. All right, the double top could be happening right now. That could be a liquidity sweep. Or it could be a breakout. There's orders right above here. Did we take them out? The high of this candle. Let's go back to a 5. There we go. So yes, we have made it above these areas. Now, if it were to reject and come back down very quickly, I would consider that a liquidity sweep. Excuse me. But right now, just over the last couple seconds, it looks like price is being accepted over here. So in this, sorry, I just got a news alert on my watch. That's a little bit hard to believe. So breaking out of here, zoom in, 1 minute. That's the breakout level. What happens now? Do we retest this level? Oops. Come on. That's where I want that tool. All right, this is where we started breaking out. Do we come back down and retest this level at 73.97? That's a very tight range, by the way. All right, touching this level. And if we just start reversing, then I go back to the 5. Is it giving me an entry for the short? Right now, no. Some people do trade these tweezer tops. Evo, are you seeing something?
Hello, Gilles. Yeah, I took an earlier trade on SMCA. It was a break even. It didn't go the way I was liking, so I got out for Chipotle money there. But I took a second trade on INTC. We had an initial pop and curl. Green hammer formed on the 5-minute chart in the golden zone, so I entered immediately thereafter at 108.42. It was kind of chopping around because it had to deal with the SMA 200 on the 15-minute chart around 108.70. So yeah, I'm kind of holding it for high a day. That would be potential 3 plus R if it gets to about 111.30. So far, the 15-minute looks decent. So we'll see where it goes.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. I was able to tighten my stop. My stop was originally about 107.80, and now I brought it up to VWAP because if it fails here, then VWAP's got to hold. So I figure that's kind of a good area, about 108.38. So that's just below my entry price.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I like to see as far as bringing in my stop, like what I did on MNQ yesterday, I want to see it breaking an area like this one. Right, this area right here. If it breaks and holds above here, let's say I had entered, I don't know, let's say my stop was down here. Once it breaks and holds above here, I would probably bring my stop just below here. Personally, that's how I do it. So I'm curious to hear how what it is that you look for. But you can tell that this was an area on micro time frame. This was an area of resistance, and we just broke through it. Doesn't mean it can't be retested, right? So I wouldn't put my stop right there, but I would put it below these guys. So I would start bringing it up. And then if we start making new highs again, then you can bring it up to break even. Definitely trying to retest that 50 area. I have to do a double take here. These do not look like 5-minute candles, but MNQ getting into this area of possible resistance. I think it will take a lot of energy to get through here. A lot of energy and a lot of volume. We are declining on volume, which is normal, right? Opening session volume. But to get through here, we're going to have to see some volume spikes. Or we're going to have to hear some news. Or have some big players that are saying, you know what, we're getting back to the highs. So let's take this higher. All right, it is 10:30. So I am going to stop the recording. I'm going to walk away. I'll be back tomorrow. And like I said, Parsa just put something in that he's going to be presenting. He's going to be presenting starting at 10:30. So have a great day. And I'm going to pass it over to Parsa. All right, cheers.
Thank you, Gilles.
Thanks, Gilles.
Okay.
Thank you, Gilles.
Thank you, Gilles.